Good morning, Churchill Students. This is Mr. Hawkins here. I didn't really want to do a video, but here I am doing a video. And at the urging of a few people at the district office, they said I really needed to reach out to my students and let them know that things are okay here. And that hopefully I'm going to get to see all of your faces soon, because if there's one thing that's killing me during this time is the daily interaction that I have with every one of you. I hope you all are doing okay, and I hope that you're acting in a safe manner. We always talk about that at school, about being safe and acting in a safe manner. And during this time, nothing that I've ever experienced in my lifetime, and I know I'm getting old to some of you, but I've never experienced anything like this, or your parents have either. I hope you're following all the guidelines, because they are important. And I've also hoped that you've heard from your teachers, and I think a lot of you have. Those of you that have been interacting and wanting that information, they're out there. I spoke with them this morning in a meeting, and they're all anxious to get back to see every one of you. And they've said they've heard about from 60% of you. All right, so I think that we can do better than that. I think that some of you need to reach out to your teachers if you haven't done so already, and just let them know you're okay. All right. I'm going to switch hats here a little bit. I got a lot of hats at home, and some of them are crazy. A lot of them are Colts hats. This is a chef's hat. And chefs, they cook up good advice. They cook up good dinners. This chef's going to cook up some good advice for you. I know I've told that many of you have sat with me before, and I've told you too that you need to limit your social media. Some of the ways you interact in social media. I still want you to limit your social media, but don't forget, this is how we're going to have to communicate for a while. But remember, when you're on social media, to do it appropriately and to do it in moderation. You really need to interact in social media in moderation. Hopefully during this time you've got to sit down with family members and actually have a one-to-one conversation with them. I think that's really important at this time. So do that. We're going to be asking you to look at some screens, hopefully in the near future, because that's how we're going to have to learn and do school. But your non-essential screen time, as you've heard people talk about, that's what you need to limit. If you really don't need to be on the screen, then don't be on the screen. Interact with a person. All right, so taking off this, might mess up my hair. My son is always asking me, Dad, what was it like in the 1970s? Because I was alive in the 1970s. So I'm going to put on this hat, because this is the hat my wife, Mrs. Hawkins, calls my old man hat. And I wear this when I mow the yard because I'm getting older and I need to keep the sun and protect my skin. Keep it youthful for every one of you that's in the school on a daily basis. But he said, Dad, what was it like in the 70s? That's when you were growing up. I grew up in the late 70s and the early 80s. And so here's what I want you to know. In the 70s, what did we do when we didn't have school? Well, there's no computers, so we didn't have to worry about screen time as far as computers. If there was a computer, the screen was really small, and you had to learn coding at the time, and a lot of us didn't know what coding was at that time. There wasn't any cell phones. That's the truth. There was no cell phones, so that made it easy. And I only had 3 TV channels, because I lived in the country. 3 TV channels, and they're all over the air, and airwaves, over the airwaves. And one of those 3 TV channels was in black and white. Can you believe that? It was in black and white. So that's how it was. We played outside a ton, went outside, played outside all the time. And so I'm saying, pretend like it's the 1970s. Limit your screen time usage. Stay off your phones unless you absolutely have to. Don't watch a lot of TV. Maybe pick up a book. I heard some people saying pick up a book. And go outside and play. All right? Go outside and play. So I want to leave you with a couple things. And I'm going to switch hats one more time. That's my notes page. And I'm going to go to one of my favorite hats. I think it was the Colts. I haven't wore this one yet. My Colts hat. So I'll leave you with this. Stay healthy. Get out and get some physical activity. Play outside. Read a book. And finally, listen to your parents and guardians. All right? Listen to your parents and guardians. You know, that's the 70s way. So take care, students, and go Blue Streaks.